nickname for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Unsubstantiated fantasy! Lies! Lies! Lies!
Greetings, Joe fans. I'm Christopher Hill, and today we're looking at G.I. Joe from the Hill. We're going to start by talking about how I started collecting. I started watching the original animated series back in 1983 when it aired. It's a 5-part miniseries. The very next year, I watched Revenge of Cobra the same way. And then by about March of 85, I started collecting the comic book, if not a little sooner. And before the end of summer, I had picked up Shipwreck and the Baroness, and that started my collecting. And I'm happy to say that I have a good deal of the vintage figures and vehicles. I still have most of them from my childhood. Not all of them are in the best of shape, but that is to be expected. So my favorite miniseries is Revenge of Cobra, but my favorite episode is Worlds Without End. Now, as far as the comic book is concerned, I have so many favorites. Of course, you have your Silent Interlude, which was the first Silent comic, and that was incredible. But to pick a favorite of the comics is not easy to do. I love the whole series. Now, naturally some issues are not as good as some of the others, but the overall storyline continued throughout the 1 to 155 issue run for Marvel, and then when he went over to IDW, he continued it all. And I don't have all of the IDW run, but I've read a good portion of it, and I've got the collected editions in the trade paperbacks up to number 12. And so we'll be taking a look at that. We'll be talking about some of those. Take a look at it. But I managed to, if you are a Hooded Cobra Commander 788 fan, we've kind of been waiting for him to open up his Gung Ho figure. I managed to actually pick one of these up in the wild at my local Walmart. I'll be opening that near the end of the episode, at the end of this video. But what we're going to do right now is I'm going to do my top 10 countdown of my favorite Joes. And we're going to use mostly the 25th anniversary figures. Some are from the, well, they're all 25th anniversary except for 2. One's from the 30th anniversary Renegades line, and another is from the new Modern Retro line from that was an exclusive from Walmart. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video, and so I hope you enjoy it. These are my favorite Joes, and so we're going to be taking a look. Okay, coming in at number 10 is Stalker, the Ranger from 1982. At number 9 is Dusty from 1985, the Desert Trooper. At number 8, it's Clutch, the Vamp Driver from 1982 and 83. Stalker was also from 83, when they got the swivel arm battle grip. Coming in at number 7 is another 1983 Joe. It's the Dragonfly helicopter pilot, Wild Bill. At number 6, it's Shipwreck and Polly, the sailor and his parrot, from 1985. Also from 1985 is number 5, and that would be Flint, the warrant officer. Number 4 from 1984 is Roadblock, the heavy machine gunner. At number 3 from 1986 is Beachhead, the second Joe Ranger. This may come as a surprise, but number 2 is Snake Eyes and Timber. Now, Snake Eyes first came out in 82 and 83. Then it came out again in 85 in his most iconic version. Also came out again several years in a row later on, in 89, 91, and then pretty much 93 and 94 as well. I'm sure this may come as a shock to a lot of you, but number 1 is Airtight from 1985, the Hostile Environment Trooper.
Joe.
Well, that was kind of fun to do. I'm sure that my number one was, like I said, a shock to everybody. I don't know. I just kind of identified with Airtight as I was growing up, especially when I was 15. I had a plastic dinosaur collection, just like it said that he did in his file card. I wasn't really ever into science or chemistry or anything like that, but for some reason he just resonated with me, and I liked the look of him. Now this 30th anniversary version that came out, I thought it was really good. I liked it. It also came with a little air tank, which was kind of cool, that you could put in place of the backpack. I like the update of the backpack that they did for him, and the hose that connected, and his sweeper or snooper, I think they called it. It was weird. Actually kind of clips back on there, and he actually came with a gun for a change. That was nice to see, because he handles ordnance, and it's like, well, why shouldn't he have a gun? Plus, he has another little technical toy, as they said on Ghostbusters. One of our little toys. Now, this version of Snake Eyes came with that really good 5-pack. I paired him up with, I think the Timber came with that too, but I could have paired him up. I generally would pick out the best Timber and the best Snake Eyes and put them together. This one came with the iconic sword, only it had the blade was silver instead of black, and had the Arashikage symbol on there. I don't know if that's going to be able to pick up very well on the camera, but yeah, it's on both sides. That's kind of cool. And he had his iconic Uzi, and he came with a knife as well, which I thought was pretty cool for the modern figures. They did a pretty decent job with those. Now the Classified series they can do so much more with than they are. And then of course we have Beachhead, all cartoon. I mean, he's okay in the comic book, but definitely his attitude resonated with me, and all the jokes that they made with him about him not wearing deodorant and things like that. I liked him. And I've already talked about my boy here, Flint. I do like this modern version. I'm pretty sure this is also the same one that came with that 5-pack with Snake Eyes, and I'm pretty sure also that Shipwreck and Polly came in there as well. This was one of the better versions of Shipwreck, where his pistol actually fit in the holster. I don't know why they had a problem with that. Now, Roadblock was my number 4. I missed him for some reason as I was going over these. But this is actually the Walmart Retro version. This is the other one besides Airtight that isn't a modern figure from the 25th anniversary. I don't know. When you take off, he came with this this flak jacket or web gear or whatever you want to call it. And this is pretty cool, but he looks a lot better without it, because it looks more like the original version. But I gave him the Retaliation Modus, his machine gun. And I thought it looked a lot better with him. I do have the tripod for that too, but holding it in his hand, it just doesn't look the same. And then after Shipwreck, we actually have Wild Bill. I love the Dragonfly, and Wild Bill, I don't know. I love these pistols he has. Now, you might think that I've got them in there backwards, but if you actually check out the box art and the artwork for Wild Bill, he wears them that way because that's the way Wild Bill Hickok actually wore his pistols, supposedly in history. So I kind of, they fit better that way with the figure too. I was always having a problem with them falling out, but the second I turned them around backwards, they fit perfect. Now Clutch, definitely comic book. I mean, most of these are both, but some cartoon, some comic book. But Clutch definitely from the comics. He early on had a lot of really cool scenes. Right from the first panel of the first issue, really was when he was driving Hawk to see General Austin. It was pretty cool. Dusty, you can't beat the Desert Trooper. I mean, he's pretty cool. And Ho's top 10 doesn't include stock. I mean, I know this is Hooded Cobra Commander 78's favorite. Now he's my number 10. He made the top 10. There are so many cool Joes. It's hard to put them into a top 10. I'm gonna do the same for Cobra next week when I do my Cobra from the Hilt video. I'm gonna do a top 10 for Cobra. Now, let's get this Gung Ho open and check him out, because I've been eager to see what this figure looks like out of the package, and so I'm gonna see how I can do this so that you can see it as well. And I know there's a piece of tape back here, so we'll see if we can peel that off real quick. Now, I probably should have done this off camera, or when I had my camera moved for when I was doing the top 10, but I don't know. It's like me in perforation. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But then once you start this cheap tape that they put on here, it generally comes off pretty easy. Now, a lot of people are thinking that they made these in China. I mean, in Vietnam, but they're back making them in China again. So, I don't know what the deal with that is. Put the tape over here, and we'll see what we can do here. This actually pops up. We got the useless extra little warning labels. Like I said, it's probably for legal reasons, whatever that is. Now, I want to keep this card pretty much intact, so I don't want to do too much cutting here. I wonder if I can actually doing this on camera is actually interesting and kind of fun. Oh well, that just cut the plastic, so let's do that. Let's just cut the plastic and I'll trim it off the card a little later. See, I'm trimming the actual plastic here, and got this new pocket knife at Walmart for real cheap too, and it seems to be pretty sharp, but let's just since he's in this little plastic bubble, we'll just take him out here. Slide him right out. Set the card aside for now. So there he is. Battle stand, which I don't know why all the Classified series aren't coming with a battle stand. It's just weird. And Joe Berg, where's my battle stand? They're always saying when they open up, from G.I. Joe Berg, if you watch them, whenever they open up a G.I. Joe Classified figure, they're always wondering where their battle stands are. Well, Joe Berg, they don't come with them. The retro line does, but definitely not the regular Classified series for whatever reason. Wow, that looks a lot like the original Gung Ho grenade launcher, man. I like that. Now, I will actually do a Gung Ho from the hilt, but I need to pick up another vintage version of Gung Ho. Now, Gung Ho, man, I'll compare him to the regular Classified line when I do his video, but this looks pretty cool. Let's see, he's got the double jointed. His arms move pretty good. I'm not so sure if I like this tat. I know they probably had problems getting the Marine Corps tattoo on his chest, but man, it just, Gung Ho should have that. Let's put his dome cover on there. Gotta have our dome cover, otherwise we have the glare from the light, you know. So let's see what we got going on here. Wow, that actually looks a lot better than the regular Classified version. Again, like I said, I'll compare them Now we got his pistol here. See how that goes into his hand. Oh, nice and easy. Well, it kind of looks kind of puny compared to Gung Ho, don't it? But it's always good to have a nice sidearm, you know, in case the grenades run out for the launcher. We'll slide that into the sheath there and see how easy that works. Oh yeah, not too bad. And then you can adjust this wherever you want. That's what I really like about the Classified. Then we'll give him his iconic grenade launcher, but let's see if we can get his finger in the trigger hole here. That's always fun to get the trigger slot. And I think I got it. There we go. So there we go. I think his hat needs going just a bit better. Then the backpack looks a lot like the original. Got the backpack snaps right in there. And then we'll see how well he fits on his battle stand. Oh, the pegs are actually at the back on this one. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Oh, that was a problem with the modern figures. You never really could tell whether they were in the middle, in the front, at the back. It was kind of weird. But there he is. Gung Ho, the retro Gung Ho, classified size. I think it looks pretty cool. He's got his grenades there for his grenade launcher, which is on the other classified figure for some reason. Now, there was a knife. What did I do with Mr. Knife? Here it is down here at the bottom. Let's not forget the knife. So this little bubble that I'm most probably going to throw out. But I don't know. I've been keeping all the classified stuff, but that's because they have a nice box. And then you've got the... Wow, that's actually a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be. Let's get it away from my hat so you can actually see the thing. And then we'll put his hand, which slides in really easy. All right. And then we'll slip it in the boot sheath. All right. And these battle stands, they're pretty cool. This is the first one I have that's actually from G.I. Joe, from Hasbro. And it's actually a lot better, thankfully, than some of those generic ones you can get. But there he is, Gung Ho. Okay. Well, that's all you got for me this week. There's his cheap 5-language file card that they give. I don't know what they're thinking with these. I mean, I know they're cost cutting and saving money and all that, but whatever. It just, the quality suffers because of it. Hope you enjoy this edition of Joe Takes and G.I. Joe from the Hilt. With that all being said, Logan out.